Hi, Mr. Wright. Peter Sema, how you doing?
Hey, man. How are
Report. I was covering the thing from Middleburg Film Festival. Now you have it here.
you? Yeah, cool, man. Very good. Yeah.
So the audience reception, you couldn't get better than what
Yeah.
you're getting in there. And how about Middleburg?
Were you inside here?
Yeah.
What do you got there?
It's a Google Glass. I'm using wearables.
Okay.
So I do cross-border financial news, black business news, stuff in Ukraine, you know, cross-border. And
So it's flashing in your lens?
no, it just shows it's filming. So this is like the wearable point of view.
Okay, very good, very good. Cool, man. So you just came for tonight?
Yeah, I came for tonight because I covered Middleburg and then I come over and I'm doing the industry.
Oh, cool.
So intelligent film like Oppenheimer,
Yeah.
great reception on films. I mean, this is the future, right?
Yeah, very good, very good.
And you're Washingtonian. I'm DC local, 4th generation, Ward 5.
Oh, awesome. Ward 7. Ward 7.
Oh, you're Ward 7?
Yeah,
Both Northeast.
yeah. Southeast.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool, man.
And I'm also a board member of a film company called Grand Delusion Media. And I want to do the life story of Halim Flowers. You know Halim Flowers?
No.
Get in touch with me. He did 40 years in prison,
Yeah.
got out of 20 years, DC local, and is now the #1 artist in the world.
Oh, wow.
So he got out after 20 years. He was like accessory murder, during the murder days. Everybody from Eric Holder and stuff.
Wow.
I think it'd be great.
Wow.
And he did his autobiography in prison. So he was about to go to college at 16, like Howard or Harvard.
Wow.
He got caught up in the murder,
Wow.
got sentenced 2 life sentences at 16.
Right.
He gets out at 20 years on the thing, and now he's like beating at Art Basel in Miami, in France. He's written books. He has his own biography.
I'll look him up. Yeah.
Halim Flowers. And he's a local from D.C.
Cool, man.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, so I was talking to Jeffrey backstage, and I was telling him that I was watching the film for a second time, and I was, again, stunned by what I saw. And I guess one of the first questions that I would have for you is, how did you come across this project, and what were your thoughts when you first heard about it, read the script?
Well, I came about it in the usual way. My agent sent me the script, the usual suspects, and a letter from Cord in which he described having read the book, and at some point, as he was reading it, he started to hear my voice in his head, which I apologize for because I know that can be complicated. And then he wrote the adaptation with me in mind and my voice. And he said in the letter, I hope you like this. I hope you like to do it because I have no plan B. So it was pretty compelling. And so I read the script, and he likes to say that it took me a while to get to it and to commit to it. But that was because at the time I was living what was a pretty close approximation to a monk-like existence. In that my mother had passed about a year before I got the script, and so there were a lot of subsequent pressures. She was a massive figure in our family, and there was like this massive chasm left after that, and somebody had to fill it, or at least try to. And at the same time, I had the good fortune of being raised by 2 women, my mother and my aunt, her eldest sister, who's 94 years old now. So she came to live with me in New York, and I spent, there were a lot of months around that time spent cursing out insurance companies and various clinicians and the like, and so I was a bit distracted. And so when I did get around to reading the script, I recognized, one, that there was this commonality, and Cord likewise has thought that the book, Percival Everett's Erasure, which is the source material for the film, was a book that was written specifically for him. And likewise, I felt this close emotional connection to the character, more so relative to the family side of the story, but of course also relative to the pressures that he felt from an individual trying to be an authentic, creative, and free voice. And that first scene hooked me. Just the first scene. It was a conversation that I wanted to have in public because I'd had it in my head and had it with others, but I thought it was smartly drawn and it was a necessary conversation for the time. And from that point on, I said, I'd like to tell this story. And here we are.
Yeah. So you talk about the family. You're from DC?
I am from Southeast DC.
Any DC natives in the house? Yeah, here we call it Virgo. So you talk about connections to family. I would think that immediately you would think about the character, what the character was going through, and how you might interpret the character's words and actions. But you feel other connections to what was happening with the character.
Well, for me, yes, the film is there's a lot of social commentary that I think is poignant, I think is well drawn, is thoughtful. It's satirical, there's lightness. For me, though, in some ways, the satire is like tragedy in disguise, because there's an emotional through line to it that is born out of, and kind of tragic and absurd circumstances that it's born out of as well. But the family, while we don't try to answer questions, we try to raise interesting questions. At the same time, the family represents a kind of response to the absurdity. Likewise, in the book, it's a foil to this dual existence that he's living, perceptions of him from the outside. Meanwhile, he's living this life that is extraordinary in its ordinariness. And it's just purely a human story of a guy trying to deal with it, trying to rescue his family and play caretaker to his mother, she who was caretaker to him. And I think in some ways it's the most radical element of the film in its ordinariness.
Well, you talk about the ordinariness, and one of the things that instead of ordinariness, I thought about humanity.
Mike's beat, I tells her. And if I is, Ray Ray is gonna be a real father this time around.